Good day everybody, my name is Christopher Colorley. Welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to do something on Python. And today's program will be based on something called Pretty Tables, which is a module. If you've heard of modules in Python, modules are one of the most important things that you might have seen so far. And if you want to do something that is based on a module, and if you do it without the module, maybe you'd likely get an error for some reason. So, without further ado, let's begin. And without hesitation too. So here is the program. So from pretty table, import pretty table. So x equals to pretty table, then x.add column, strengths, programming, then computer skills, then information extension, then memory. Then x.add column, weaknesses, then self-expression, then help, then self-esteem, then cultural values. Then the next thing is another column, which is improvements, emotional control, social ethics, then social skills, then social intelligence. So as we can see here, we have three columns. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Then we have 4 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So x.align equals to L. Then that means if you put it to a C or R, it will still work. But if you put it, if you put it to somewhere of another alphabet, don't ask anybody for help, because to show you a syntax error. And let me tell you something about syntax errors too. So syntax errors are the kind of things that's governed. So syntaxes are actually governing how you should write code, how you should write code down in a program. So these kind of codes, as you can see here, are structured. They are according to procedures. But if you break a rule or two, it's like government. Let's take government for example. Say you break a law and you have to pay for the consequences. So syntaxes are like the type of things that govern the code, that govern how code should be programmed. So for example, if you break the laws by doing anything silly, like only having one quotation, as you can see here, only one. Take this for example. Say syntax errors. Syntax errors everywhere. So what do? Put this back. So that's how it's done. So syntax errors actually are the ones that warn you. That, like, syntax errors just give you the warning. Like if you break the law and the police want to pay you, you want to pay the police rather. So if you want to pay the police that, so they will just officially give you a warning to say do not do that next time. So that means, take that for example, that means syntax errors are like that. So here's how syntax errors are, since I haven't shown you what it actually looks like. Syntax error, invalid syntax. And here's how it's done. So I'm working in PyCharm, correct? So as you may all know my name, then PyCharm projects, then VNV, then scripts, then python.exe. That means this thing is actually running from the original Python, which is the Python 3.8 I'm using. So C uses my name again, PyCharm projects, then the name of the project, and then the file problem, and then file, which is this, then line 4, which is over here. So it will show you where the error is and where you need to correct before it becomes the complete program. Now let me show you a thing or two about this pretty table. It's very, very interesting. So we have a whole lot. So let me explain it in extensive details, just to ensure you understand. So here's how it looks like. So annotations, let's start from that. So annotations might be the annotation for the table. Then the class is for the class itself. Then delete attributes. That means delete an attribute you want. So if you don't want any attributes like add column, wipe it out of existence, because that one is from the module. So dictionary is put them into dictionary classes. Then directory is like where the module is. And then the document center is where the document for the module is. And then the ec is actually the self and o. That means they're just simply programs that you might actually come across. So format is definitely formatting the module. Then get attribute. Yes, get attribute. There are two of them. So this one is from the pretty table, and one of them is an object. So that means you can get attributes from the module. And then the next one is get item. That's if you want to collect an item and get the item quickly. And you have to use an index if you want that to happen. And hash is just simply a hashtag. It's an object. And as you're going, take a look. Object and pretty table. So all of them I've explained are mostly objects. So initialize is for the init is actually another word for initializing, if you didn't know that in functions in Python. So def init is actually define initialize. So initialize subclass, which is a class, then module, then any, which is another code you might come across. So self and o, you just put one thing there and one thing there. So new class, that's like new classes, yes. So reduce the number of modules, of functions in the modules, yes. So reduce x, that's execution, reduce execution, then self, then protocol, then represent, then set attribute, then size of, then slots, then strings, then this is where it begins. Add auto index, then set the field name after self. Then add column, which is self, which is their field name, then the column, then the alignment, then the vertical alignment. Next, add row, then row, self, row, and then divider. So that means you have to get a row and a divider if you want to add the row. Then add rows, a self and rows. Then align is then there you align your table. And if you want to align it, it must be C, L, and R, because anything apart from those alphabets, you are getting a syntax error. So attributes, which are the attributes of the pretty table if you didn't know that. So border is like the border for the table. So bottom junction character is like the junction characters, but it's at the bottom. So that's where the characters are at the bottom of the table. Same thing for bottom left and bottom right for the junction character. That's why I'm explaining it extensively so you can get this thing right. And also this adds columns, these add rows, this adds one row, this adds a whole lot of rows. And this one is for the rights that I've explained. Clear, that means clear the table completely. This one is clear the rows of a table. Then copy is copy a table. Then custom formats, that means you can do it in any format you like. Then delete column is self and field name, and it allows you to delete any column. Then delete row is self and row index, so that means you can delete the row from there. Then dividers is like a thing for the table that helps it stand. Then encoding is like UTF-8 in websites, like I've shown you in JavaScript videos. That's why you should be watching my JavaScript videos, because they're linked to it. The same thing for my C++, once I start shooting C++ videos, people. So the end is the end of the table. Then field names, then fields. These are all for data, for storing data. If you're in data science, that actually means the fields are like where you store the data in tables. Then data science is so interesting. You can take it. And that's why I put Udemy course as the title, because you can go to Udemy and start learning from there if you don't want to buy coaching. Because many people, if they want to coach with me, then this is your place. I've learned from Udemy, from the best of the best. That's why I'm able to explain everything they have today. I'd also be doing my own research. So float format, then format. This one is format the table to a float, which means a decimal if you want to know. So format, then get CSV string. This one is get it from a spreadsheet. Then get HTML string. This one is to get it from a HTML website. This one is get JSON. That means get it from a JSON, the string from JSON files. CSV, HTML, and JSON. CSV, I've not gotten to that point yet. HTML, I've gotten to the part. But JSON, I haven't gotten to that part, so I'll explain it to you in later videos. So latex strings, so that's something for the programming, pretty tables. And these are all part of something called quags. So let me explain arguments, args and quags. So let me explain all of them to you. Args is simply a word for argument, and then the other, quag, stands for keyword arguments. So that means that both of them have arguments and keyword arguments. So get string, so get it from anywhere. So the header of the table, and the header style, the way it should look. Then you have the horizontal align character. That means align the character like that. Then horizontal character, align the character like that. The horizontal character, that means a horizontal character that might be there. Horizontal is a bit like long, and the vertical is like that. Like this is vertical. No, this one is horizontal, my mistake. And if I squeeze it back, that's vertical. Like, let me show you now. This is horizontal, right? So this is vertical. So this is vertical, this is horizontal. Just to let you to understand the basics of tables and data science. So H rules, these are horizontal rules. Then if expression. This is where the most complicated stuff comes. So if expression is there, then if expression is not, and if expression is not not, if it's actually something, then the format of the table must be an integer. That means it must be a number with no decimal points. So junction character, then left junction character, then left padded with, then main. That's if name equals the main expression. So that's how actually happens in Python. So I've showed you the previous video, tic-tac-toe. If name equals the main, the program must begin, the game must begin. So that's like that, main. So max table width, which is pretty table, that's maximum table width. That's maximum width, the minimum table width, the minimum width. Then non-format, so you format it to none, you format the table to none. Then not expression, then odd sorts, slice, that means slicing and sorting. That's sorting and slicing old tables. Then organization mode, and this is how you do things. Pad width, that means that's how you do things. So pad and width is like that. So that means you will pad the table. Do it together all at once. So paginate, that means it will actually paginate your table. It will split your table into several pages, like page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8. It's infinitive, even if it reaches 1,000,000. So par is expression, then preserve internal border, then pretty table, that's preserve internal border, then print the expression, then print empty, that's print an empty table, then return is return the expression, and return is also a type of conditional if you want to know. Then reverse sort, that means reverse the sort thing that you did with the tables. So that means all sort slice actually means something that you can use to sort the table into anything you want. Right junction character, that means all these are bottom, right, left, and top. All of them shaping like a kite. Yes, so right padding width, then rows, introduction to rows, introduction to columns, then introduction to rows. Where there are rows, there are columns. There are two basic things, my friends. There are two basic things. So rows, then set style, set the table style to whatever you want it to be, then sort key, then sort by, then start, then title, then top junction character, then top left junction character, then top right junction character, then vertical align. So that means it's for vertical align. So top junction character is for the top. So the top left is for the top, and it's the left, and it's the top right is there. Just like that. Then vertical align, and after vertical align, we have the vertical character. After that, we have the vertical rules, which can rule a line. Then while loop. While loop is also one of the conditions, so while expression. Then XHTML is for X and HTML. So that means the table is in a website. And that's why I'm explaining these extensively. Also, for horizontal and vertical, if you put T, M, and B, your program will work. But if you don't put those, it will give you a total error. Understood? Excellent. Now I'll run the program after the quiz. So let's start the quiz so that we can give the motivational call for the day. And then after that, we move on. So here is the quiz. Now we shall run this. Okay, let's do it. So today I'm using Opera because of Microsoft Edge's incompatibility to work. I don't know what's been happening to it. So today I'm using Opera, which is one of the most fastest of all time. So let's do this thing. So today we learned how to import from a built-in module and functions. And that's not all. That's from the short version, like the small letters of pretty table. That means there are lots of them from pretty table. Lots and lots and lots. Lots of things. That means they're built in tasks. Bit by bit by bit by bit. That's what they call decomposition in computer science, if you want to know. Today we used pretty table. Next one, do it yourself. Bingo. Here we go. So clear rows, the next one. Next one. Tested 3 columns and 4 rows. That's the hinter I'm going to give. So I'll explain that after my motivational quote. I should try using Opera more often for my quizzes though. Hooray, we did it, guys. Motivational quotes for the day. Always have the courage to try difficult things. Because if you don't have the courage to try and try again when facing these certain challenges, at the end of the day, you might get it right. But if you fail to have the courage to try, then you might never will know the impossibilities of life and how the life is. And at the end of the day, you might even find the difficult easy for you to tackle. So that's my own motivational quote for the day. Always have the courage to try difficult things at times. So now we're going to run this program with ease. So let's get to the real business, guys. So here's the program going to run. 3, 2, 1. It might not be what you expected. And also I want to show you a few things first. This one is Show and Explorer. So watch and wait. Voila! You have it, folks. You have it. Creating tables with Python. Which was edited today, 3:40. And maybe that could be the time I was shooting the video, yes. So next one is its history. So we're going to show the history now and also create just also does it with GitHub. File path is for the file itself. Close is for close the project or the program rather. Close all is for the entire thing that is there, then splits vertically, then splits horizontally, then you can pin it. You can even configure this editor tab, then select the next tab, then select the previous one. Even reopen the closed tab, even add to your favorites, add all of them to your favorites, then rename the file, then you can run it, then you can debug it. Maybe you can run it with coverage, profile, and concurrency diagrams, then edit it. Then that's all. And you can even open this in Terminal if you wanted to. But the ones I'm just going to show you today are Show and Explorer and Show History. So here it is, my friends. So here's when I first did it. From pretty table and for this. It was 2 columns and just 3 rows until I was the one that edited it to be like what you see today. Then it just goes on and on like that. Goes on and on and on like that. Like I was explaining earlier, L, C, R, as explained earlier. Then that's how it is. These are older ones. And these are today's contents are identical, but I was the one who changed the name from challenge the created table to Python because it's like one of the most simplest things to do. Import a module, then from print a table, then add loads of columns with rows, and then outline the table, then print it out. Easy. Now we're gonna run this program with ease, with no hesitations. It's not as what you expected, but at least this is a try. Take a look at the table. The columns, the rows, the first column, the second column, the third column, with 4 rows each, as explained in the quiz. Hooray, that's our program run. And that's our video for today, folks. Stay tuned to my channel, and if you like content like this, please subscribe below. And this is extensive explanation from yours truly, Christopher Clowley. That's it for today, and see me in my next video where I'll be doing another module called it. If I want to give you the hinters, I will give you now. Colorama is the name of the module we will be doing in our next video. Alright, that's it for now. See you later. Bye, folks.